LASIK is a procedure to reduce your dependence on glasses or contact lenses. It involves reshaping the cornea, which is the front surface of the eye, to correct the vision. LASIK is probably the safest surgical procedure that's done today. And we know that because there have been multiple studies looking at the safety and efficacy of the procedure. There's been more than 28 studies that have gone through the full FDA process. More than 10,000 eyes have been studied. If we look at the success rate of LASIK, it's unprecedentedly high. If we look at the complication rate, it's extremely low. To underscore the success of the LASIK procedure, the U.S. military has adopted LASIK as their laser vision correction procedure of choice for pilots and special forces. And of course, for those individuals, their vision can be a matter of life and death. In a procedure that's done more than 1 million times every year, you can imagine the complication rate is very, very low. And that is the case with LASIK. Of course, it is a surgery, and every surgery has a risk of infection. That risk is probably about 1 in 2,000. To put that in perspective, a patient who wears a contact lens is probably at a higher than 1 in 2,000 risk for infection. If you touch your eye, you touch your cornea. That's where a contact lens would sit. And when you're nearsighted, for example, that curvature that you see there is a little bit too steep. It needs to be a little bit flatter. And that's precisely what we're doing with the surgery is we're reshaping the cornea. We first create a flap in the cornea. That flap is created with a laser or a high-performance blade system. We lift the flap up. We use our laser vision correction on the tissue underneath, very precisely removing tissue, and then we place the flap back. The reason for the flap is that's what allows for the very fast healing, essentially overnight.